Hi there, and welcome to yet another video in our series on websites. Today's video is all about navigation. If you get navigation wrong, people aren't going to be able to go anywhere on your website. You're going to paralyze them, and the products and services that you have for sale will suffer. I'm going to start off with a Microsoft Store website. This is actually a good example of how website navigation should work. You'll notice as I close this browser, you see Find a Store, Sale, and so on. As I pull to the left, those things disappear, but they put a nice little menu icon here so we can easily see what we're covering. As we close it in a little farther to the left, we see this store menu here, and if we drill down, we get a nice accordion style navigation menu. Accordions are the best in the business. The only thing I don't like about this menu is there's no clear dissemination between headings and sub items other than these little tiny arrows right here. But otherwise, very nice website, well done on the navigation. We switch over to Bank of America. Now, here's something I need to point out to you. Of all the websites in the world, of all the ways that this can be done, there's only two ways that technology can detect whether or not you're using a mobile device. You might be using a phone, you might be using a desktop computer, or anything in between. This website technology has to make a decision, one of two things. Are we going to look at the device, the piece of machinery, which is this big blue thing in the background? That's my, let me bring this in a little bit, excuse me. This blue area, that's my device. Okay, that's the monitor that I'm looking at this within. This thing I'm moving around right now, that's the browser. Okay, so some use the browser, some use the device in order to determine whether this is a mobile environment or not. Okay, so in Bank of America's case, they are assuming that the device determines whether it's mobile. So if I start to shrink the browser, you notice About Us, Business Institutions, all that, it gets covered over because they don't realize we're switching to a mobile format. They're looking at the overall screen size and determining, hey, this is a desktop. We don't need to change anything. The problem with that is with the multitude of devices and possible ways a client can look at your website, you can't leave anything out there for error. The menu detection should be based on the browser. That way you don't have to ever think about the device at all. One solution covers all the possible bases, and this is an example where it fails. Now, we're going to come over to the City of Anacortes website, the town that I live in. As I shrink it, right now you notice there's two menus, one on the left, one across the middle right here. As I bring the site in, this first menu, the one that was on top, turns into this. The other menu stays put. If I click on that menu, unfortunately, it covers the entire site, not behavior that you want to happen, especially when your menu is this big. Look at the size of this menu. Scroll, 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 scroll. What I want to see happen on a menu like this is each one of these black bars should be a heading. Nothing in it should open unless it's clicked on. And that way people don't have to scroll this ridiculous length of time in order to see the actual website or another menu. Another difficulty with this is if I click anywhere on the website, that menu should retract. It shouldn't just stay there, forcing me to select one of these things. Fortunately, I know the business. If I click on the menu, I know it'll come back up again. But you know what? There's a lot of people that have no idea that behavior is going to happen, and they need alternative methods to close that menu, and clicking off is one of those methods. Now, if we compress this site further still, we basically have a website full of menus. It's just not working for me. I don't like the navigation overall. Okay, let's come back out here again. We're going to go to eBay. We're going to shrink this website. And this is it, deals, music, business. You see all this stuff up here? As we pull it in, it gets covered. eBay is simply not responding to the fact that you are now looking at the website in a mobile or responsive environment. And if we click over to CompuMatter, this is the way it should be done. This is the best in the industry, and it's not just because we created it. As I bring this down, we have a couple of benefits on our side. First of all, the text automatically grows and shrinks as the size comes down. So that gives us a little more leeway in being able to display a complete site even at smaller resolutions, as we are here. Now when I bring it in a little bit, of course we see our mobile menu. We also put the word menu here. A lot of sites don't do that, and it can lead to problems. Let me give you an example of that kind of a problem. First of all, a lot of companies, a lot of people don't even realize those 3 lines mean mobile navigation. So putting menu there emphasizes it for them. And then there are other companies where they have other graphics on the site that compete with the mobile menu. Look at this. This Bank of Boston's logo is 4 lines. Mobile navigation is 3 lines. It would be helpful if they had the word menu. They're assuming that all of their clients are going to be comfortable with a bunch of dots, these squares in the corners, being a menu. A lot of people aren't. You need to put it in there. It makes it more obvious. Now, if we click on that, it slides out smoothly from the left-hand side. And here's the nice part about this particular navigation. If I click on one of these, it drops down slowly, gives you some time to digest that that's a sub-menu of this other item. It didn't just happen instantly. Repair what? Another nice slow drop. And you'll notice the color coding. Very important when you have an accordion style menu. I don't see that on any other website. It gives you clear detail that this is a subcategory of that and that these are subcategories of this. And if we click on one of the other menu items, you notice how it all shrinks back up, which means you never have a situation where the website just goes on and on and on and on like that City of Anacortes site I showed earlier. So these navigation issues can make or break your website. And when I say there are 100 ways to fail, I'm sure I'm underestimating it. Navigation is the single largest weak point of websites the world over, and there are no better navigation systems than those created at CompuMatter. And one thing I want to show you above all this, when we take this back out to the desktop size, if I click on repairs here, you notice the nice smooth drop down that occurs, and we've got icons associated with each of these different menu items. It's a much nicer way of doing it than to just drop down some text boxes below that. These really give people some personalization. It adds a professional touch. It's an extra measure, and your clients will appreciate it, as I'm sure you do. Anyway, that's it. That's our video on website navigation. And as always, despite how impressive and how special this particular technology is, it is by itself just another arrow in the quiver. It's in a long list of unique pieces of technology that CompuMatter brings to the table. So if you're thinking about a website, we sure hope you'll consider us. We know that you're not going to find anything that does the job better for you. Thank you for watching.